This is TWiT.
We have found out that the president is former president. Well, might be president again in August. I'm not sure. But anyway, the former president, former until August, will be suspended from Facebook now for 2 years. Facebook responding to the Oversight board, which said, okay, the suspension's okay, but you really should have had a term, a limitation on it. So they've decided 2 years. Did we do this last week?
No, we didn't, because last week you had the
they didn't
false
have the
rumor
decision
that he was already
yeah.
up.
Ah.
I fact-checked while we were on the air.
Thank you.
And then it happened the next day, I think.
The next day, they said, so it seemed like it was, I don't know, it was related. I don't know. Anyway, so he will, 2 years. So the initial suspension was January 7th, the day after the insurrection this year. So January 7th, 2023.
2023.
Just in time to run for president. He will be back. Maybe. Maybe, because they say unless he continues
they have to judge his behavior. Which,
yeah.
Two things about this. One, Facebook has always said we don't judge behavior off platform, but because he's off the platform and they have to judge whether to put him back, they can only judge his behavior off platform, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Second, this is a case where I think the original decision was better. I thought indefinite was much better. Let's see how you behave, and it's up to us whether you come back or not. But it was the Oversight board that insisted that was awful, and so now there's a date set where they'll have to judge it, and it's just going to string it out, I think, in another way. But
Jack Dorsey glad there's no Twitter Oversight board, because he did, in fact, say he's never coming back.
Yeah.
Facebook, at the same time, announced that this was a stunner. Apparently, politicians' posts were exempt from Facebook rules preventing users from engaging in harmful speech. You're a politician. Go ahead.
Well, it was the newsworthy. The argument is and the same argument was debated at all the platforms. The newsworthy argument says the public has a right to know their miscreant ways.
Yes, and I kind of understand that.
Yeah, but it's
if
debatable.
you're using it to incite, that's different. So if you're inciting people to do bad things. Clearly, there's a responsibility on the platform's part to keep you from doing that. But if you're like the Nigerian president who said, you should kill all the people in the south of the country, I guess that's inciting too. Twitter, in fact, pulled down that tweet, not the account, but pulled down that tweet and is now banned in Nigeria as a result. So I think incitement is a good reason. If people are going to get hurt because of what you say, that's a good reason.
So let me ask you a question.
Anyway, Facebook's reversed that policy. They say politicians will no longer be exempt. But as you know, everything's spongy and soft with Facebook.
Oh, absolutely. It gives them room. What about a garden party standard? That you don't have to incite people to imminent danger.
Oh, civility?
But yeah, just to say, no, I don't want that here.
Here's the example I'd give you. If you're a politician and you're an elected politician and you're in office and you say a bunch of dumb, hateful stuff, I think the electorate needs to know you're saying that.
So you agree with the newsworthiness standard?
In the sense that as long as you're not telling people go hurt somebody or go, take
So you're
the
spreading lies about hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, well, I don't mind a warning on it. That's different. But what if you say, I think black people are dumb. I think the electorate has the right to hear you say that out loud. Don't you think?
But then again,
I agree with you on that.
With a host of
you would want to know that, right?
Right. I want to know who I'm voting for, who I'm not voting for, not just based on what those ads show and promote all of the warm and fuzzy stuff. I like to know some of the other things.
You know who Louis Gohmert is?
Stuff that comes out.
You know who Louis Gohmert is.
We're going to send him into orbit, sir. Can Bezos? Can you stay off the rocket? Just send him up, please, and not back. A one way.
You lived in Austin. Was Louis well respected in Texas politics? Representative from Texas. Louis Gohmert.
No, all of our politicians are bat. Sorry, I can't say that word.
This is an example. Here, he's in the House of Representatives. This is an example. This is during a House Natural Resources hearing. Listen to Representative Gohmert.
And so, is there anything that the National Forest Service or BLM can do to change the course of the moon's orbit or the Earth's orbit around the sun, obviously that would have profound effects on our climate.
Wait, what?
I would have to follow up with you on that one, Mr. Bowman.
She's
I'm
laughing.
going to
figure out
send
a
you
way that
a
you
first
and
grade
the-
teacher.
She's laughing. So
This is like this is the face that they made when Trump was like, could we just like inject bleach into people?
But this is crazier. Yeah, let's change the orbit of the Earth or the Moon.
They're kind of equally crazy, but yes, I'm not saying I can't evaluate those crazy
In any
statements.
event, I think that this is not harmful. It's not like there's going to be some
That's an
coalition
example.
to
You
move
found
the
an
Earth.
example.
But I think people who elected Louis Gohmert should know that this guy they elected to the Congress thinks you can change the orbit of the moon in some way that would be beneficial.
When I first read that tweet, I thought he was
Thank
saying
you
that
for
Black
sharing
Lives
that.
Matter was trying to do that.
Yeah, Bureau of
Bureau of
Land
Land
Management.
Management. But
Yeah.
I know.
will say there are people in Texas, and there are plots of movies and science fiction shows where you throw a nuclear bomb at like a comet or something and it evades the Earth. So I can see people thinking that is
Hence the
not
word
as
fiction.
crazy.
Stacey, you're being far too nice. Far.
No, I literally just had a conversation with someone who kept talking. We were talking about the M1 chips. They were like, now that Apple's building their own silicone. And I'm like, and I didn't want to correct them because
It's
it
con,
wasn't.
not cone.
It's not a hill I'm ready to die on.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I would say, oh yeah,
GIF is
they are
one I'm
building
ready
their
to
own
die on,
silicone.
but that not. Yeah.
But he just kept going. He was really
It doesn't
into
matter.
silicone.
I know. It's okay.
But there are people who
I
think
just
weird
say,
things.
bless his heart.
There you go.
That is what that phrase is for.
Bless his heart.
You've learned your
Silicone
lesson.
is for breasts.
Well.
Silicon is for computers. It's very simple. Don't confuse the two. I'm sorry I said that. I really am. And you could just say, bless his heart.
Bless his heart.
He's just clueless. That's like the people who say, I don't want the vaccine because then you can follow me around while they carry a cell phone and a computer.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
And they post everywhere that they are.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't want you following me around.
Having coffee at Starbucks right now.